Some of the men and women who were sent into these call centers to help you try and navigate the unemployment maze. Our David Jones reports that those workers on the other end of the phone line, well, many of them are just as frustrated as you.
Confusion and desperation, the only source of hope for so many unemployed Floridians with claim-specific questions is a phone line. But many on the other end of that line say that they aren't equipped to answer those questions themselves.
I could only work 4-hour shifts because it was so hard. It was so sad, and I couldn't do anything to really help them.
This is the voice of Karina. We've changed her name to protect her privacy. She lives out of state, one of a number of temp agents across the country hired to man Florida's unemployment phone lines. She tells us she was untrained and unprepared.
We were just someone to answer the phone for them and to tell people to wait. I felt like a puppet.
Our investigation found a myriad of issues that help explain continued problems with the state's unemployment helpline. Call takers unequipped and even directed not to answer claim-specific questions, even as the claim-specific phone line overflowed to them.
It was just a lot of listening and just trying to be there for them in this whole system, because a lot of them, they were just happy to have a person on the line.
A former employee we'll call Alice said not being able to answer people's questions took a toll on her mental health.
Knowing that you're working and you're making a paycheck, working for an agency that is so beyond broken, while these people are out there struggling to put in a claim for the money that they basically have paid into the system. It takes a toll on you.
Misery is all people, despondent and desperate and hurting.
The call takers we interviewed expressed the same concerns. Little to no training on the unemployment system connect. A flood of desperate callers, some threatening suicide, with slow response from supervisors. Supervisors who seem to know as little as the call takers themselves. And frequent glitches with the system, leading wages to be zeroed out or employer information to be absent from the state's wage verification system. Any of these could be holding back your application. And another glitch, if someone has a visual impairment or maybe doesn't have ready access to the internet, a call taker is supposed to be able to do an application over the phone with them. But the call takers we talked to said that they would see a grayed out submit button that kept them from doing so. Karina remembers one elderly woman who called for help.
She said, tomorrow's May 1st. My landlord told me if I don't pay that I have to get out. She's like, what am I going to do? And she hadn't even been able to submit her application yet, and I wasn't able to submit it.
The call takers also told us they were given scripted answers. When callers asked how long their claim would take, they say they were told to respond, "We are processing applications as quickly as possible. We appreciate your patience."
We weren't in a position to actually do anything worth.
For weeks now, Governor Ron DeSantis has touted call center numbers, saying people could get information they needed to get paid. But the hundreds of emails we've received tell a different story. In a statement, the state says they're continuing to train more workers daily on how to handle specific claims. And this is just a small piece of the extensive conversations I had with these call takers. For more, head over to our website, firstcoastnews.com. We're in Jacksonville. David Jones, First Coast News, on your side.
All right, so that was from last May. Now let's take a look almost a year later at what people have to say about the DEO's call center.
Let's talk about the worst kept secret, which is the call center workers are not DEO staff. Okay. And we knew that early on, and that took educating even members of the executive branch a little bit on how inefficient and ineffective call center workers were. Some of them meaning very well. I had a number of call center workers reach out to me to say, Senator, I know you're at the forefront of this, and I kind of feel awful that I'm getting paid a decent wage basically to pacify people or deflect and hold them on the phone waiting 3 hours only to tell them for 5 minutes at the end I can't do anything for them. And that was, a bit of a triage section, like the waiting room. Like I used to joke, your table's not ready, have a seat at the bar. And that was like the Pegasus system, which wasn't a real site at the time when it came out. All these things that even legislators were told or made to believe were real remedies and cures, and they weren't. They were just sort of stall tactics.
Keep claiming, don't worry, and please don't call and ask them to do anything, because if they do, your claim will actually be suspended and frozen. So just keep it going, keep it moving.